So welcome again to my channel, everyone. A little bit of a different video today. I know a lot of us have gone back to our work, of course, from lockdown and maybe sitting a lot more, maybe becoming a little bit busier, going back to how it was. And I just want to remind us all that we always have a choice. Our body is our choice, and it is up to us what we do with it so that we maintain a sense of suppleness and fluidity within our spine and our joints and things like that as well. If we have gone from lockdown to, possibly moving around a little bit more or finding a little bit more space to back in chairs, back in cars, back under the pump, we're going to find that things are going to start to break pretty quickly. So this is a reminder. Every hour that you sit, set a timer on your phone. We all have one of these. For every hour to move from 1 to 3 minutes, right? So I'm going to give you 4 movements today that you can do on each of those hours. All right, if you are sitting down for like 8 hours, then do it for 8 minutes or like 10 minutes through your day. So 1, every hour that you sit, set a timer on your phone for 1 to 3 minutes, however space you've got, to move your body, right? And then be consistent. Do this every single day, all right? What we practice grows stronger. So if we're sitting on our ass for 5 to 8 hours a day, every day, 9 to 5, coming home, sitting on the couch, driving the car, sitting in a chair, we're going to have issues with our low back. We're going to have issues with our spine. We're going to feel rigid. We're going to feel stuck. And we're also going to have issues because it's likely if we're sitting in a chair, we're doing something like this, typing on our computer, or more so that side, which means we're going to be overextending into that side, putting, of course, pressure again onto our lumbar. So I'm just going to get started. Let's do it. Again, I'm Meg. Please, if you enjoy the stuff that I do, I'd really appreciate it if you like and subscribe. It helps me to help you to bring you more videos. And of course, my book is in the publishing state. So if you want to pre-purchase, you can do that. You can click on the link below in the comments. And if you do that, I'll send you one of the meditations from the book. It is a 30-minute meditation on acceptance, acceptance, compassion, and love for the self as well. So let's get started. Let's get moving. All right. The first one that you can do is stand up out of your chair. Bring your feet hip distance apart and slowly start to move into some hip circles. These are going to look different for everyone. If you're generally tight through your hips, it might be a smaller circle. That's totally okay. So I recommend maybe doing about 10 slow circles one way and then 10 slow circles back the other. So I'll just do 5 for the purpose of this video. Again, jump in and follow along, but hopefully these will be pretty simple to do like on your own without having to follow along on a video. That's why I want to keep it super simple, but just to give you some ideas. And maybe when you're doing your morning routine at home, you could come up with 4 different movements to do. Spend some time in yourself. If you're not taking that time in a morning routine, then you really need to start one. It is so important. Great. So that's movement number 1. Again, maybe it's just like that for you. So keep it minimal. Listen to your body. We want to try to get that movement through the sacrum. Movement number 2, moving down and coming onto some wrist and spine mobility. Fingers spread nice and wide, so we strengthen out through the wrists. We come down to all fours. Now remember, if you start doing this in the office, great, you're most certainly going to spark a conversation and possibly encourage somebody else to do the same. So when we come onto all fours, we're going to just start to move in a lateral direction first, right? So I'm moving to the right, moving in a lateral spinal wave. Just articulating, this is called a bit of a barrel roll. It's a really nice one if we sit, and also you're able to strengthen the wrist, change direction. So maybe going 5 one way, and 5 the other, finding a bit of a cow position through the middle, and then an arching or angry cat through the top. From that, we're going to do some little duck dives here. So bending the elbows, dive under the wave, up and over, round the spine. Duck dive under, up and over, round the spine. So just moving through, you should feel pretty good through the body, especially if you're seated through your day. the end of the day, if we don't look after our joints, change direction, then we're going to be stiff and sorry. We're going to be feeling tense and rigid. And not only does rigidity and tension reside in the body, it resides in the mind. So if we can be as loose as possible in our body, yet strong, then our mind will be exactly the same. We'll be able to pivot in adversity, and we'll be able to find a lot more flow state. Beautiful. And then if you've got the time, then just move in any direction with your spine. So play with different, movements. For you, it's going to be different for everyone, just allowing yourself to move through. And it doesn't matter what other people think. So if you're at a desk and you're like, I can't do that because there's a person on the other side, great, do it more. Again, do it with them. Like, when do we start worrying about what people think of us, right? Again, it's nothing to do with them. What other people think is none of our business. Your body is in completely the hands of you. So if you don't do it, then in 10 years' time, are you going to be more stuck, more stiff, more rigid? That's always our choice. Beautiful. Great. Move number 3. Coming into some hip flexor work. So if we're seated, we're generally sitting down in a chair and our hips are in this direction. Our hip is a ball and socket joint. It is meant to move around the joint. It is not meant to spend hours in this hinge position, right? So what we want to try to do is to try to get the joint nice and mobile. So we're going to come down into our hands and our knees, and we're going to step the right foot through. And you can always use a block or something underneath your hand if you need to, if you're just starting out into this stuff. Then the right hand comes forward. Place the right hand back down and then come back to the knees. Step the left leg over the dog and through. Right hand down, left hand comes up. And just moving into this alternating hip flexor stretch. It's a really nice one to do. They say that for every hour you sit, you should be doing a minute of these. And if it's tight for you moving through these, great. That is a beautiful indication from your body that you need to do it more. It's also a really nice one for the shoulder as well. You can even open that shoulder up, like you can fully rotate through the joint, especially if you're using like a device or a mouse and your shoulders are constantly in that anterior position. All right, move number 4. So what we're going to do is a standing single leg balance. Again, I mentioned that our hip is a ball and socket joint. It is not meant to be in this position for hours and hours and hours on end, and then hours when we come to home and we might be sitting on our couch. It's just going to get super tight and rigid. So standing like this is painful for your hip or really uncomfortable, then a beautiful sign and opportunity that, maybe we need to open our hips more. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to do 1 minute of standing balance on the right and the left side. So if you're brand new to this, hold on to something. Soften your right knee. Come onto the tripod of the right foot. If you're not sure what the tripod is, I've got a foot immersion that I will click a link to in the comments below, and you can purchase that. It's only $29 for a 2-hour workshop, but really helping us to get to know our feet and how they affect our knees, our hips, our spine, and our back. Right, so we've got about 60% in the heel, 40% in the ball of the foot, soft knee bend, and we're just going to stand and balance. Now, again, I want you to be fluid with this as much as possible, and with practice and repetition, what you'll notice is that you'll be able to slowly do bigger circles. Never ever take yourself to somewhere that causes sharpness or pain, right? It doesn't matter how little it is. Don't judge the experience. Right, we're trying to create more suppleness, but it takes practice. We have to crawl before we walk. Keeping a soft knee bend in this standing leg, and explore where your hip can go. Again, it's going to be really uncomfortable. It should be, especially if you've never done it before. And then, of course, once you've done about a minute on one side, then change sides. So soft knee bend, we're never locking out that standing knee. And try to keep the rest of your body pretty fluid. So try not to lock on your jaw, your hands, your shoulders, your face. And just see if you can explore all the range of the hip that it is today. You know, it might be different each day that you do it. It should be. It's a brand new day. You know, so don't judge the experience. Let it be what it is. Try not to take out the pot plant. And just allow your body to move in space. You might fall, right? That's what the wall's there for. So use what you can. I'm actually going to give you a bonus one. We're going to go 5 because this is such a game changer. It's something a lot of us don't do, which is some standing spinal waves. So again, you can do this for like 2 minutes, like 1 minute one way, 1 minute the other. So standing up from your desk, pressing down through the feet and slowly articulating your spine. So when we do these spinal waves, I like to think of it as different parts of the body pressing forward, right? So as we move through, think firstly of the knees, they bend, then the pubic bone, the belly, the chest, the throat, and the nose. Knees, pubic bone, belly, chest, throat, nose. Don't worry about what it looks like. And again, if you're in an office and there's other people there, how cool would it be if you could actually get them to do this with you? How much better would everyone feel? Maybe you're a boss out there. Implement this with your staff. Like, just allow yourself to move, because when we move, we feel better. When we feel better, more feel good comes to us. So I'm going to take you in the reverse direction. So we go nose, chin, chest, belly, pubic bone, knees, roll. Nose, chin, chest, belly, pubic bone, knees, roll. This might feel really weird on your head and in your brain, might be freaking out. Perfect. We really want to do the things that are uncomfortable and unfamiliar, and that is neuroplasticity in a nutshell. We want to change the experience. When we change the experience that we're having in this moment, that's when we create new emotions, and by creating new energy and emotions, that's when we start to get the change physiologically in the body and chemically in the brain. Beautiful, guys. So I hope that brought to you a little bit of movement in your day. Movement is a huge passion of mine. And when we move, we just feel good. And that's what it's about. It's about just implementing it into your day without adding it in. But for most of us, we have the time. We spend hours and hours and hours on these things. So put 5 minutes back into yourself, your body, your joints, your health, your wellness, and your energy, and do it repetitively every single day and see if you start to feel better. I'm Megs. It's lovely to spend this time with you. Don't forget to click the like and the subscribe button as well so that you continue to support my channel so I can support you. Have the best day.